friends, it's Mrs. Russo. Welcome to Epiphany number 3. We are going to be talking this whole month and next month about Epiphany. And what Epiphany is, if you remember, is when Jesus began revealing himself as God's Son. So last week we heard the story of the wine, the water that was turned into wine. That was Jesus's first miracle. The first time when he really showed himself to be something special. Then today's gospel is about Jesus reading the scroll in the temple from Isaiah and reading the prophecy and then basically saying, "That's me." He told everybody that was there to listen and to learn, "That's me. You've just heard. You're seeing what you just heard in me." And so all this season, 8 weeks of Epiphany, we're going to be seeing and hearing the stories of Jesus' ministry, his teachings, his miracles, his healing, and showing us, revealing to us that he is God's Son. So we also celebrate that we've been given that light. We've been given that love from God through Jesus. And it's our job to share that light. So the youth group is doing a project right now where we're talking about being the light. So we're thinking about ways that we maybe bless people, maybe ways that we use our gifts and our talents to glorify God. Maybe we're thinking about people who have inspired us to be better Christians or more loving or more compassionate, and visualizing that as them sharing their light with us. So in this sharing vein, I want to read a story that you might have read before, but I want you to listen to it in a different light now. Oh, different light. Okay. I really didn't intend that pun, but there it was. The Rainbow Fish by Marcus Pfister. So as we read this, I want you to think about the rainbow fish as maybe somebody who needs encouragement to share his light. And maybe there's been times that you felt like this too. So let's listen to the calling of the rainbow fish to share his light. Marcus Pfister's The Rainbow Fish. A long way out in the deep blue sea there lived a fish. Not just an ordinary fish, but the most beautiful fish in the entire ocean. His scales were every shade of blue and green and purple, with sparkling silver scales among them. The other fish were amazed at his beauty. They called him Rainbow Fish. "Come on, Rainbow Fish," they would call. "Come and play with us." But the Rainbow Fish would just glide past, proud and silent, letting his scales shimmer. One day, a little blue fish followed after him. "Rainbow Fish," he called, "wait for me. Please give me one of your shiny scales. They are so wonderful, and you have so many." "You want me to give you one of my special scales?" "Who do you think you are?" cried the rainbow fish. "Get away from me." Shocked, the little bluefish swam away. He was so upset. He told all his friends what had happened. From then on, no one would have anything to do with rainbow fish. They turned away when he swam by. What good were the dazzling, shimmering scales with no one to admire them? Well, now he was the loneliest fish in the entire ocean. One day he poured out his troubles to the starfish. "I really am beautiful. Why doesn't anybody like me?" "I can't answer that for you," said the starfish, "but if you go beyond the coral reef to a deep cave, you will find the wise octopus. Maybe she can help you." The rainbow fish found the cave. It was very dark inside, and he couldn't see anything. Then suddenly 2 eyes caught him in their glare, and the octopus emerged from the darkness. "I have been waiting for you," said the octopus with a deep voice. The waves have told me your story. This is my advice. Give a glittering scale to each of the other fish. You will no longer be the most beautiful fish in the sea, but you will discover how to be happy. I can't, the rainbow fish started to say, but the octopus had already disappeared into a dark cloud of ink. Give away my scales? My beautiful shining scales? Never! How could I ever be happy without them? Suddenly he felt the light touch of a fin. The little blue fish was back. Rainbow fish, please don't be angry. I just want one little scale. Oh, the rainbow fish wavered. Only one very, very small shimmery scale, he thought. Well, maybe I wouldn't miss just one. Carefully, the rainbow fish pulled out the smallest scale and gave it to the little fish. Thank you. Thank you very much, the little blue fish bubbled playfully as he tucked the shiny scale in among his blue ones. A rather peculiar feeling came over the rainbow fish. For a long time he watched the little blue fish swim back and forth with his new scale glittering in the water. The little blue fish whizzed through the ocean with his scale flashing. So it didn't take long before the rainbow fish was surrounded by the other fish. Everyone wanted a glittering scale. The rainbow fish shared his scales, left and right, and the more he gave away, the more delighted he became. When the water around him filled with glimmering scales, he at least felt home among the other fish. Oh, he at last felt home. Finally, the rainbow fish had only one shining scale left. His most prized possessions had been given away, yet he was very happy. Come on, rainbow fish, they called. Come and play with us. Here I come, said the rainbow fish, and happy as a splash, he swam off to join his friends. Just one. But look how he shared. And he made everybody else better because he shared his light. He had been given those gifts, right? He had been given those scales as gifts. And when he was able to share them, everybody was happier, and everybody was friends, and not lonely. But he was scared at the beginning, right? He was scared. And so I invite you, again, to rethink a little song, a child song that we already know. And I want you to rethink the verses. It's This Little Light of Mine, of course. And we've sung it before together. But I want you to rethink the verses now, because this is going to be something for you to pray about and think about. So the first verse is, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. The second verse is, should I hide it under a bushel? No. So what do you think that bushel means? What does it mean to hide your light under a bushel? Does it mean you're afraid to glow too brightly? You're afraid to really show who you are and what gifts you've been given? Maybe you're embarrassed by them, so you try to hide it a little bit. Or maybe you don't want to be bothered. Maybe you're really, really good at something and people have tried to use that in the past and you don't want to be taken advantage of again, so you hide your light under a bushel. The third verse is, don't let anyone it out. I always move my light away when we do that one because I don't want anybody to blow it out. So I wonder what that means. what does it mean if you let somebody blow it out? Is somebody going to belittle your gift? Make it seem like it's not really that special? Now, the rainbow fish didn't have that problem, right? Everybody wanted his gift. They thought it was amazing. So he was trying to hide his under a bushel by just swimming away and not having anything to do with them. But if somebody tries to blow your gift out, blow your light out, you won't be able to share it, will you? So the last verse, you can add how you want to do it. I start with, shine it all over St. Patrick's, shine it all over Dublin, shine it all over Ohio. Now, I know we have people that are watching that maybe don't go to St. Patrick's and don't maybe even live in Dublin or Ohio. So you can decide, where do you want to shine your light? Maybe you start small, and that's okay. You have to start small. But as soon as you start giving your light to other people, your light is able to grow and grow and grow the more and more people you give your light to. So let's sing afresh this little light of mine, thinking about the meanings of those 4 verses when it comes to the light of Epiphany, the light of Christ. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Don't let anyone it out, I'm gonna let it shine. Don't let anyone it out, I'm gonna let it shine. Don't let anyone it out, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Shine it all over St. Patrick's, I'm gonna let it shine. Shine it all over Dublin, I'm gonna let it shine. Bigger, shine it all over Ohio, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Every day, every way, I'm gonna let my little light shine. Friends, I pray that you find ways to share your light, just like the rainbow fish shared his scales. I hope that you find ways to continue to reveal Christ's presence in your heart to those around you, whether it's just by sharing a smile, or sharing a song, or sharing a joke, or just sharing the same space. Sometimes people just need someone to be with them. You could cook meals. You could share half of your cookie. There are so many ways that you can just share God's love and Christ's light. And I pray you find lots of ways to do that this week. See you soon.